Alright, update video on the state of Age of Empires 4's Red Bull Wololo. There has been a change, and I think it's important to address this because it was something I don't think I leaned in too much when we done the original video, but it's the format of the tournament. So, we just got an announcement coming out from Crazini in the Red Bull Discord. We want to thank everyone for their passionate feedback regarding the decision to use Empire Wars. We carefully listened to your concerns and understand the Empire Wars game mode is very unpopular within the community. Your enjoyment and positive and tournament experience are hugely important to us. In response, we've decided to change the format and will no longer be utilizing it. This applies to both qualification stage and the grand final at the castle. We're committed to creating a tournament that resonates with the community. We hope this change will ensure the most exciting and highly competitive matches possible. Additionally, there have been questions regarding the various talents for all the games, such as casters, and we're excited to share with you soon, Poogers. The event is still a few months, and we will be sharing a lot of information. So, I really want to talk on this quickly, because I was just hitting on this earlier today. Some people aren't going to like my opinion on this. The Empire Wars detail, I understand the resistance, but the statement that I made earlier today, and I stand by this, the biggest issue around Empire Wars is not knowing if the developers will support it and upgrade it and actually balance it in the build-up. Because if they were willing to do that, if we were to see multiple tournaments in the build-up and whatnot, it could be doable. The biggest problem why Empire Wars had to go here is I personally have little faith that this is going to get balanced in time. So this is actually like a good call. But what they're trying to do here isn't wrong. People aren't going to like to hear this part if they're an obsessive 1v1 person who's been watching every single copy and paste 1v1 format tournament, does the exact same thing over and over again. They're not going to like what I'm going to say here. Different is better. What Red Bull are looking for, and the reason they tried to do this Empire Wars format, is Red Bull want unique tournament formats. They've made this their bread and butter, right? From their Fortnite tournaments to their CSGO tournaments. Like CSGO, they've got the Flick, the 2v2 tournament. That's a very unique style of tournament. When they done a tournament in Dota 2, that was the Guardians tournament. There was a very unique drafting element that didn't exist in other tournaments. River Runes, which was a Dota 2 1v1 mid tournament. Red Bull are interested in creating unique experiences to their environment. They want ownership over something that doesn't exist elsewhere. That is not a bad thing to gun for. Unfortunately, due to the fact that Empire Wars, we don't really know what the state of development is going to be on that, whether it's going to be supported or whatnot. That's why it had to go. But I don't think they should stop pursuing these different approaches. So I made one suggestion the other day in the chat, because I really want to emphasize this the same way I've been emphasizing this chat. I've been telling you guys here, I've been saying in the Discord, whatever you do, positive feedback. If you're going to go in there and say, this tournament sucks, get out, like, you don't help. The reality is, we're talking about a TO that is making a tournament that, admittedly, right now, doesn't sound like it's going to meet the expectations that some people in AoE4 would have had for it. But the reality is, if you want to get to the point where it's worth what you're expecting, you need to prove that you're worth investing in. So positive exchanges are valued here. And this is proof that Red Bull listens, right? This is actually immediate proof. 24 hours later, they made an adjustment. So this is what positive feedback and outlook gets you. But this is the thing. Now that they're pursuing like a unique style, I think one suggestion I made in here somewhere, if I can even find it, I think it was a very interesting suggestion at the time, is to this whole point right here. If people want a different style that still feels familiar, I love this idea instead. Let's not use generator maps. Let's use crafted maps. Imagine if instead the map pool was a bunch of crafted maps that were tuned in prep, in build-up for a few smaller tournaments through the main event online rather. You'd have an entirely different style. An entirely different style. And that would give the unique angle that Red Bull is seeking. These are the type of ideas that people need to portray. I'm giving one, but I want to see people give more ideas like this, because these are what Red Bull are looking for. You need to propose to them a unique angle. And someone's going to go, KP, that's not my job, that's Red Bull's job. Okay, but here's the problem. If you don't like the job they're doing, and you've got a better perspective, then giving your professional input, your familiar input, isn't a bad thing. So people definitely check out their Discord, the Red Bull Warlord Erenado Discord. I think you can find it on the website. Join here. Get in on the discussion, because right now they're clearly in the cycle of figuring out what they're going to do instead. I don't think it serves us as a community or them as a tournament organizer any justice to simply do a 1v1 standard format. I truly believe that. I was saying the other day, back when we done Golden League 2, that 12 villager start was so refreshing and crazy at the time. It was so different. In the build-up to Red Bull Wololo, there's going to be a Norwegian LAN that is going to be standard format 1v1. There's probably going to be several other 1v1 format tournaments. You don't need more of this. You think you do, but trust me, you don't. And if you're able to help craft something unique to them, and they see that be a success, they see that be positively received, you are genuinely going to see a much higher chance of Red Bull doubling down on AoE4 next year. Right? Because, like, to reiterate it, I was heartbroken when I saw the announcement. I definitely still think we're probably going to lose players now this year because of the changes. But that's on Microsoft. That's overall prize pooling. That's not on Red Bull. Red Bull needs proof that AoE4 is worth investing in. And if we're being totally honest, Legacy wasn't the time to prove it. There was a lot of things wrong around Legacy. The game wasn't in the best design position. They introduced 2 new civs before the main tournament, so no one was watching the tournament. They should have introduced those civs after the tournament, but shown them off at the tournament. I think 4 has a lot of potential still, but there's a lot of onus on us as a community to prove it. I'm going to be trying to step up, so I'm now in the process of trying to organize some different tournaments and seed funding for those. I am also already doing a few show matches, so be sure to be checking those out if you haven't already. So we will be trying to commit our part as well. But, you know, it's becoming more and more apparent with the way that Microsoft interacts with this product, and in my opinion, where it lets it down and has let it down time and time again because their marketing cycles are too slow and the people high up don't know how successful AoE4 is right now to do anything about it. It's now on us as a community to kind of prove the point. So I'll try to do my part. I think Red Bull is honestly throwing us a bone and trying to do a part here, if we're being totally real and fair to them. I will do everything I can to try and make this a memorable experience, and hopefully we can work together with them as a community to come up with something that hits the right spot that they're looking for, their unique angle, that then still pleases the hardcore audience while being inviting to the new players. And then hopefully, like, if we're able to do that, if we're able to bring that together, what you're going to find is the chances next year when Red Bull is assessing what they want their tournament, the chances of AoE4 being a critical component of it go up. And you know what? Here's another one for you. Even if it doesn't go up with Red Bull, we smash this out the park, we do this right, we'll bring other people in. That was my attitude to this when I saw the money go down. I think there is going to be an exodus of players, but I can either wallow or I can see opportunity. And I'm hoping I'm not alone in seeing opportunity here. This is going to be more than a weekend DIY job to get AoE4 back on track. And Microsoft is not going to make it easy along the way. But there is a way. And what I will say is people positively engaging with what Red Bull has done here has already led to this change. What we now need to do is not just say what the problem is, we need to get to a solution. What's the format that works? Because I still believe 1v1, like we already have, isn't the way. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. If you're watching live on Twitch, thank you for watching. Say hello to the YouTubers. I'll be sure to upload this a little bit later. This is going to be a very short one. But this is an important time in AoE4's history, guys. It's 3 years of declines in terms of prize pools and everything involved in the scene. That, to a certain degree, is to be expected. My hopes is to get it to a reboom state. You know, we've got people like SteelSeries coming into the scene. We've got Gentlemates arriving in the scene with a big splash. The reality is, sadly, large companies like Microsoft have incredibly inefficient systems to get new info to the right place. It's kind of like ChatGPT, where it's like it can't process recent stuff. Because these big companies have these marketing divisions that plot out a year in advance what they want to do. And the way the info feeds through to them is like it's a drip. And it's a very slow drip in a company as big as Microsoft. Sadly, that's the way it is. So my hopes, fingers crossed, is on Microsoft's side, we actually see some significant support towards the tail end of 2024 and early 2025. I know people don't want to hear that, but the reality is between the layoffs, the disaster that is the tech and esports industry right now, and the fact that people budget ahead of time, it feels like, regardless of what the social media message has occasionally been, the fact that Age of Empires 4 has the best-selling expansion in the history of Age of Empires doesn't seem to be a detail that has rippled into the ear holes of the people who control the purses. But fingers crossed, we can do our part to make Red Bull Warlord success, the events around it success, and then when Microsoft finally wake up, we can look and just go, yeah, no, Sherlock, of course the game is doing well. It's been doing well for a while. Let's actually get this moving. Let's get investing in it. I wanted to do this as well. Like, I don't know if people are like, this is way too positive. I don't think I'm being too positive. I think I'm being fair here. I was a little bit worried the last video yesterday was a little bit negative. I don't want people to think that it's the end of the world. But what I want people to be aware of is this is a hard time for AoE 4. Anyone who thinks it's not is delusional. It is going to be all about hunkering down and figuring a way through it together. Because we are going to see the lowest prize pool year at this pacing unless something changes, unless we can bring out external sponsors and whatnot. And I'm doing my part. I'm working on that. If anyone has a link in to different sponsors or whatever, feel free to connect me. I'm always looking to make new relations, especially if it leads to more tournaments for AoE 4. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in the next chapter. I always need to do these right at the end because I should have done it originally. But like, once again, though, people need to be giving praise to Red Bull. I know this is not the 8-player, 16-player on LAN that people wanted, but this is proof that they're listening. And as someone who's worked in esports since 2018, not many TOs listen this quick. So definitely give them the props they deserve. Positive outcomes, guys. If you want to get more people in the scene, if you want to invite them in, the way we treat people that exist in the scene and people come to the scene goes a long way. So I'll be trying to do my part. Let's actually build instead of destroy.